Brodes Media.
I cannot believe we're even having this discussion. I think it's a joke. There's no way you should be signing Bryce Harper to this big extension. It would be foolish. I used the phrase organizational malpractice in the past, and I will use it again to apply it to this situation. It's outrageous. You do not sign someone to an even bigger deal than you already did when there's still this much time left on it. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. I think it's foolish. We'll talk about it all. Hey, before we dive into it, though, we are on a mission to continue growing Brodes Media in every possible way. So if you're enjoying this mess, make sure you subscribe and leave a thumbs up. But real importantly, we have more Brodes Media content coming your way. Coffee with Brodes is back starting March 28th, which is opening day, by the way. Join the Brodes Media membership here on YouTube for $4.99 a month, and you will have access to Coffee with Brodes live streams every Monday and Thursday at 11 a.m. There's also a Brodes Media Discord channel, too, that is currently active, where we communicate live when games are going on. It's a blast to really communicate in real time. Nothing's going to change with the current model. This is just an added bonus if you want more in your life. I'm looking forward to starting Coffee with Brodes live streams March 28th, and make sure if you're interested, you grab a membership today. The information is all down below in the description. No, you do not sign him to some massive extension right now, or an extension in general. He said he wants to play into his 40s. He wants to play at 45 years old. Dude, you got a violent swing, and I don't know if he's going to make it that long. What is a 43-year-old Bryce Harper going to look like? And obviously, they're going to try and demand this now, him and Scott Boras, because if they wait until he's 35, 36, 37 years old, then they will not have the leverage. They won't have the power. He's the man. He's the absolute face of this thing. So, of course, John Middleton will definitely listen a lot more now compared to so many years down the road. But that's my point. So many years down the road. We have you until 38. It's crazy to me to think about this. I actually despise it. I really do. And I love Bryce Harper. Who doesn't? If you're a fan of baseball in this town, you love Bryce Harper. He plays into the fans. He wears the Philly fanatic stuff. He rocks the headbands. He puts on the cleats. And then we believed originally it was all about what? Just really kind of connecting with the city. But then it became organic and it felt real. Like, no, he actually is obsessed with the Philadelphia culture and him being here and on. That's why when he signed the original 13-year contract, he was in love with the fact that there was no opt-out. Oh, look, I am dedicated and I want to be here so damn bad. Well, if that was once your selling point to us as a city, this is almost disingenuous. It's what it sounds like to me, even though I love Bryce Harper. And there are a bunch of fans in this city right now that just think you give him whatever you want. Or, excuse me, you give him whatever he wants. And I don't care if you're Dr. J. I don't care if you're Joel Embiid. I don't care if you're Brian Dawkins. I don't care if you're Jason Kelsey. It is a bad, bad, bad way to run your franchise if you're just going to allow this to happen. This can cause problems down the road. I don't want to hear anybody who's okay with it today and just open up a blank check to be angry that you're not going after a specific free agent because Bryce Harper's still locked in for $20+ million at age 43 years old, where he can only make it 40 games a year because he's so broken down. You can't have it both ways. And how many 40-plus-year-old dudes do you think is in the batter's box raking at will? Oh, but the DH, stop it. You're going to have to filter it. So many different pieces over at the DH position. That's not the proper way to build your roster later on. You should be saying, well, or some would be saying, well, what are you worried about that now for if the window is to go win? Well, if the window's to go win currently today, this dude's locked up until he's 38 years old. It is about today. Yeah, it is about today. I am am worried about winning a World Series with Rob Thompson, with Trey Turner, with JT Realmuto, who apparently, if you listen to Matt Gelb, has incredibly reshaped his entire hitting and his stance, and that will be a big-time difference maker for what maybe he could be this year, and that would be insanity, right? We debate all the time, did they get better? I bring up, yeah, well, Trey Turner won't suck for a whole entire three-quarter of a season, and Bryce Harper will be available and not have to worry about an elbow surgery and recovering. So just from that in-house, you improve. If we could get something with JT Realmuto to splash even more on the offensive side, and we'll play the audio. We have it here. He joined the best show ever. I've heard of it once or twice. And, yeah, I thought it was an interesting little nugget that he threw out there. But I am worried about the now. I can't wrap my head around. Like, that this is insane. This is insane. It's insane. I truly deep down believe that it's insane. Are they mad that the market passed them by? This is where I'm trying to figure out exactly when Scott Boras and Bryce Harper communicated in the early stages of the free agency, when it was a battle between Manny Machado and Bryce and who's going to get the big money. They both are, but where are they going to sign? And I wonder if they kind of sat down and said, all right, we're going to live with this no opt-out thing, but a few years in, I got you. Don't worry. As if this is part of their plan. If you were a fly on the wall when Scott and Bryce were kind of discussing how they were going to operate, this was in the plan, and that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Hey, just get there, get established. You want your family to be there forever. You want to really build a bond with the fans, but don't worry, I got you, because some of these frauds below you, all right, some of these nobodies in this league, these teams are going to be throwing around $40 million AAV, and you'll be sitting there at 25, 26, and that's a disgrace. You're my client. I'm getting the best for you and your family. And then he gets brainwashed, and he thinks about all the money, and he goes, okay, yes, sir, I trust you.
Should he expect a new deal or not?
Well, I would not get into any contract situations publicly. Just never really do that. We'll say I have the utmost respect for Bryce, tremendous players, said everything for our club and the team and the city. So he's the type of guy you want to have. He's in a situation where you can always desire or want, anybody can, anything that they would like. We end up making business decisions that sometimes are difficult, but one way I would just say it without getting into any particulars is that we're thrilled that he's on board. We know he's at Philly for 8 more years, and there's a lot of times to digest things, but it's a situation where we're thrilled that he's on board. And again, you can desire and want anything you would like, but I think it's also the apparent knowing Bryce, when he gets to spring training under any circumstances, he's ready to go, and you know you're going to get 100% from him in every regard.
What a pro! What a pro Dave Dombrowski is. I don't know if you can handle that any cleaner than Dave just did, but that didn't sound like a guy who's automatically giving in. No? I mean, look, you could want whatever you want to want, but when Bryce shows up to spring training, you know he's locked in. That almost sounds like to me that, okay, wishful thinking, bud. I know Bryce is so dedicated. I know he's so dialed that the second we get him to Florida and the second he's on the field again, taking BP, he's out playing first base, getting ground balls, motivated for the boys and to make sure that he's properly prepared for a season, all that contract stuff's going to go out the window with him. Didn't it sound like Dave Dombrowski's not just doing it?